here in the pit. A little bit warmer for Recondo. Mind you, he's a G.I. Joe, so if you gave him a winter coat, he wouldn't care. He'd fight anywhere and, defend freedom. But yeah, I'm sure he likes it a little bit better down here with just a rolled up sleeve shirt on. Available in 1984 and 1985. He was discontinued by 1986. And he's a very popular figure amongst Joe collectors from the 1980s. I don't have a card back for him, but I do have this 3D Joe's book that has a card back. And here it is here. It says G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. Jungle Trooper, codename Recondo. And there's the terrific art, like always drawn by Hector. And it's got the 1982 to 1985 explosion behind him before the digital one came out in 86. And that explosion by far is my favorite. I like the 86 one, the digital one, but when I think of G.I. Joe, I mostly think of this explosion. And it, just takes me back to being a kid. Here's the file card right up for Recondo. It says codename Recondo, Jungle Trooper, file name Daniel M. LeClaire. Primary military specialty, infantry. Secondary military specialty, intelligence. Birthplace, Wheaton, Wisconsin. Grade, E4. And there's a Herb Trimpe drawing, like I've said, the last few videos. And here's yet another one in this Marvel Order of Battle book. Another terrific art rendering of a classic G.I. Joe figure and character. Recondo hates the cold. Well, I guess maybe he was cold outside when I had him outside there a minute ago. Not really liking the Canadian winters, perhaps. But anyway, he loves hauling a rucksack through the bush and sweating through his camis. When he's in the jungle, he owns it. Anybody else is trespassing. Cadre member at Jungle Warfare Training Center. Qualified expert, M16, Swedish K, grease gun, M1911A1, auto pistol, M79 grenade launcher. A jungle is like some single, gigantic, hostile organism. It can sense when you fear or hate it, and it is wholly without mercy. When Recondo steps into a jungle, it sings to him like a mother soothing a troubled child. Here's the 1984 pamphlet that came with all the G.I. Joe vehicles for that year. And you can see there at number 26 is the Jungle Trooper, Recondo. And 1984 was just a magical year for G.I. Joe. It had so many new characters come out that are totally memorable. For Cobra, we had like Storm Shadow, Baroness, Firefly, Scrap Iron, a lot of totally important key Cobra leader type guys came out. Zartan as well, I forgot about him. But anyway, likewise for the Joes, there were several guys that were kind of different figures, came with animals. This was the first year where we had a dog with a Joe, with a Junkyard, Freedom, the Eagle, come with Spirit. So yeah, just a lot of different specialties, and Recondo was definitely one of those, and I loved him as a kid. I got him at the mall with my Nana, who would often buy me G.I. Joes when my mom wouldn't. But yeah, anyway, sounds kind of funny, but She liked going to the mall with me. We would be there for a few hours, and a lot of times I would just go to the toy section and, just kind of go through all the Joes and just see all the new ones and look at the card backs and figure out who I wanted next. And sometimes I wouldn't get anything, but there was a good chance when Nana was with me, I would get one. She just really enjoyed seeing how happy I was when I got one, and we go and sit at the food court. Won't forget those times. And getting this guy, I won't forget, because I remember that day I got him and Mutton Junkyard on the same day. My aunt Carol, she got me a Mutton Junkyard, and my Nana got me this Recondo. He first appeared in G.I. Joe number 32 of the Marvel comic, and there it is there. It's got Zartan and the Dreadnoks on the cover. And he was very popular on the cartoon, the Sunbow animated series. First appeared in Revenge of Cobra, 1984 five-parter, and was in several other episodes throughout the years. And here's his PSA announcement that sometimes the PSAs, of course, appear on the end of Sunbow cartoons to pass positive messages onto kids as far as safety goes.
Hey, where's John?
What's all the excitement?
Recondo! We can't find John. He was heading that way.
Oh no. Check that old refrigerator.
Thanks, Recondo.
Remember, never get in anything that could close up and trap you.
Like an old trunk or an abandoned refrigerator. Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
Designer Ron Rudat worked on this figure and came up with a sketch, and drew it, and then designed this figure and came up with the different patches for this figure. He had a liking for the Australian type look in the Vietnam War, and here's him talking about that now.
I just like the look of the Australians. They wear a hat on the side like that, the boonie caps. But they wore them in Vietnam like that too.
Ron is a veteran, of course, so it's a great thing that during the 80s we had several veterans working on these figures, and obviously that's why they look a lot more real. His patch is a long-range reconnaissance patrol type patch from the Vietnam War, and you can see it there on his left arm. And he has a airborne type patch on his chest. And there's the boonie hat that Ron was talking about a second ago. The overall look at this guy is, I would say one of the top, I would say probably one of the top 5 G.I. Joe sculpts for figures, for the Joes. Just because it looks so realistic, and the way his mustache is, and his head sculpt, and just that classic Jungle Trooper look. He's got the machete on his leg, camo pants, a watch, 1911 on his chest. Flip him around here, and looks almost like Indiana Jones type stuff on the on his back there, and just everything about this guy just looks so realistic. And I remember that art, seeing it in the store as a kid, his card art, and just going totally googly-eyed over it, and just telling my Nana, I gotta have this, and was so happy to bring him home. I just had a crazy flashback while looking at this figure of me sitting at my parents' place back in '84, and I was listening to Van Halen, Drop Dead Legs. And it was on a vinyl 45 my brother got at the mall. And on the other side, I remember, was Panama. But I just specifically remembered listening to Drop Dead Legs and looking at some Joes. The Joe's resident jungle specialist came with a cross-country backpack, it says on the packaging. Here's a better look at it here. You can see it has a canteen on the bottom and a sleeping bag or blanket on the top, a rucksack, that type opening, and pouches on the side. And I remember this as a kid, the handle there, you can see. So it can either be put in his back with the peg here, or it can be put in his hand and carried by the handle. And the assault rifle that came with Recondo was the M14 E2X. And there it is there. It's got the camouflage tape. I specifically remember that as a kid, and this was one of my favorite guns. Of course, the M14 was an early Vietnam weapon, and later replaced by the M16, a much lighter rifle that kind of changed rifles forever as far as warfare goes. But yeah, always loved this rifle, and I have a little snippet here of a guy with a Vietnam era M14 4E. Pretty great that the designers were veterans, so they had first-hand experience with these weapons, and like I said earlier, made it that much more real. This figure came with 3 different camouflage patterns, which is pretty interesting. And I have 3 different ones here. And you can see them there. The one in the middle is a lot lighter. And yeah, so I'm missing one of the camouflage patterns. Yeah, just pretty interesting that when this figure came out in '84, you could get lighter or darker pants. Here's the commercial that advertised Recondo on television back in 1984.
He'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble.
Are those the two Joes, Expo?
Yes, Commander.
Who's on the watchtower?
That's the Jungle Trooper. Codename Recondo.
And manning the howitzer?
That's the Flamethrower. Codename Blowtorch. And the Hail Jumper. Codename Ripcord.
Who's by the bivouac?
That's the Dog Handler. Codename Mutt. And his dog, Juggar.
Did not see the last of Cobra.
Watchtower, Howitzer, Bivouac, and G.I. Joe figures each sold separately from Hasbro.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Looking forward to doing many, many more 1980s G.I. Joe videos in the future. And hopefully a couple more before Christmas comes. And I'll be doing a Christmas video, of course, again this year. Really looking forward to doing that. And maybe, just maybe, this year there might be some 1980s G.I. Joe gifts under the tree. Bye.